I'm trying to tell you I need help and I want it. Get out. I'm done talking to you. I don't blame nobody for anything that's happened to me.
I hate this car!
The only thing powerful is food.
Crystal's journey was a roller coaster ride through health issues and emotional trauma that will make you question your life choices. Imagine being 34 and already juggling a nightmare mix of diabetes, hypertension, and polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. Now, these are serious conditions on their own, but Crystal had the added horror of unexpected hair growth in places like her face. Just picture that for a second. As if that wasn't enough, parts of her stomach had nerve damage. What a nightmare! Hello, everyone! Before we dive into the shocking moments of my 600 pounds life that will have you reaching for the nearest barf bag, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Grab some popcorn, if you can handle it, and get ready to explore the wildest rides of transformation and turmoil. Let's get started.
My husband, Freeland, is the one I rely on to help me get up and through my day. But I hate making him do that because I know it's hard for him.
Go right behind you.
But my body is in such bad shape now.
Crystal's relationship with her body was complicated from day one. Food was more than just sustenance for her. It was her escape route from a reality that was anything but kind. She started binge eating at the tender age of 5, right around the time a so-called family friend decided to turn her life into a living hell. The sexual abuse lasted until she was 13. Seriously, who the hell lets this happen to a child? And if you think it stops there, you are in for a shocker!
When I was a toddler, my weight was normal. It wasn't until I was around 5 that my weight gain started. Christmas Eve, right before I turned 5 years old. We went and stayed with some family for the holidays. And that's when one of them molested me for the first time. After that, my life was never the same. But that was just the start of it, because it lasted until I was 13.
Crystal faced even more physical trauma from her mother's partner. The abuse wasn't just directed at her, but also at her sisters. By the time she was 10, Crystal weighed over 250 pounds. Food had become her sanctuary in a world filled with monsters. But here's the kicker. Is there a way out of this vicious cycle of addiction for her?
And food became that for me. Food made me happy. And when I needed that, I ate. So that's when I really started gaining. And by the time I turned 7, I weighed about 150 to 200 pounds. So I was putting on weight quickly, and that didn't really change.
Fast forward, and Crystal finds herself in a do-or-die situation. Meeting Dr. Nowzaradan was like a bucket of ice water to the face. At a staggering 618 pounds, she was living a lifestyle that would make anyone gasp. How about sleeping for 15 to 16 hours a day and starting your day with ramen noodles and cheeseburgers? Dr. Now was beyond shocked. But what's his game plan for Crystal?
Ramen noodles, cheeseburgers, sandwiches, like lunch meat sandwiches, chips,
Okay.
stuff along that line.
Okay. And that's breakfast.
Yeah.
And then after that, what do you do?
Sometimes I'll take a nap or go sit in the front room and watch a movie.
You just woke up, you take a nap?
Yeah.
Okay. And what time you go to bed?
I'm usually in bed by 7:30.
So you sleep from 7:30 till 11 o'clock next day?
Dr. Now's advice? Cut the sleep down to 8 hours and start seeing Dr. Paradise, a psychotherapist. Dr. Paradise recommended journaling as a way for Crystal to confront and process her trauma. He even hinted at the depth of her unspoken pains, saying, "You have kept so much inside. You probably have books inside of you of things that have never been said." Could this be the key to a lasting transformation for Crystal?
Homework for you is going to involve journaling. And I want you to use that journal as a way to start being a little vulnerable in your writing.
Okay.
Because you were quiet for so long. You kept so much inside. You probably have books inside of you of things that didn't get said. So start writing it now.
Okay.
Get it out.
Okay.
Initially, it seemed like Crystal was on the right track. At her second checkup, she weighed in at 591 pounds. Dr. Now then challenged her to lose 80 pounds in the next 2 months. Crystal took on the challenge head on, and by her next visit, she had dropped to 526 pounds, earning the green light for surgery. But would she keep up the pace?
Because overall now you lost 91 pounds. So that's good. Do you feel a big difference in your day-to-day with that?
Yeah, I'm able to get around easier and I can walk for longer before I get tired. So I'm definitely noticing a difference in what I can do and all that.
That's good. I'm glad to see all your progress. You didn't make it to an 80-pound goal, but you're losing more per month this time. And in total, you're getting close to losing 100 pounds.
Just when it seemed like Crystal's journey was headed towards a happy ending, life threw her a curveball. She disappeared for 7 months, missing her appointments. When she finally returned, her weight had climbed back up to 579 pounds. This setback meant she was no longer eligible for the weight loss surgery she had worked so hard for. It turned her story into one of the most heart-wrenching tales of what could have been on the show. A story of hope, despair, and the sheer unpredictability of life.
I understand that, but you said gaining, so that's the issue.
So I'm still able to get weight loss surgery?
Not while you're gaining. I told you that. But this is what we can do. You have shown me you can do this once, so I'm confident you can do it again. So make plans to move to Houston and come down here. And if you do that, we'll check your weight then.
Ryan's life was no walk in the park. He was essentially glued to his recliner chair, unable to stand or handle even the simplest tasks. How does one even get to that point, you ask? Well, it was a slow-motion train wreck that started way back in his early days. His mother and stepfather were not exactly parent material, to say the least. Parental guidance? More like parental negligence.
Jeff's real son until later on. It always made me feel like I was this burden or problem he wanted gone. And then my choice from that was to turn to food, because it always made me feel better, you know? You feel bad, you eat a donut. And that's how I coped with a lot of things. Turned to food to get the comfort that I was looking for, and it filled that void, so food became my best friend. So I started to eat a lot, and I started gaining from that.
With no one to lean on, Ryan turned to food for comfort. It became his escape from a world that seemed hell-bent on making his life miserable. By the time he was 17, Ryan was dealing with a jaw-dropping weight of over 300 pounds and a severe drug addiction. Yeah, 300 pounds in drugs at 17. If that does not make you want to reach for a bucket, I do not know what will.
Freshman and sophomore year, I partied pretty hard. I smoked a lot. I drank more than any parent knows I did. I was still eating all the time also. And I just got worse and spiraled more out of control. And by the time I was 17, I was already up to 300 pounds. But that was a bad year for me because that was my junior year and I got caught with a gram of marijuana.
Hope, however, is a stubborn little thing. Ryan sought out Dr. Now to help him turn his life around. He started his journey at an eye-watering 740 pounds. All talk about his commitment to change. Actions, though? Not so much. Fast forward a few months and he had barely made a dent in his weight, still tipping the scales at over 700 pounds. It is like he was collecting pounds as if they were loyalty points.
My life's a lot harder than you'd understand.
I heard that a lot of times, but that's not the issue. The issue is whether you're gonna keep making excuses and blaming everything else for your situation, or if you're ready to wake up and get your life together.
I'm ready to do what I need to get healthy, Dr. Now.
Alright, so if food is destroying your life...
Despite this, Dr. Now gave Ryan another shot, setting a goal to get below 650 pounds. But here is the twist. Ryan's weight stayed stubbornly parked over 700 pounds, thanks to his sneaky cheat days. And when Dr. Now confronted him, Ryan's excuse was pure comedy gold. The scale's malfunctioning. Really, blaming the scale is like blaming your alarm clock for missing your flight. Epic fail.
Hello, Dr. Now.
Hey Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, how's your weight doing today?
I'm not sure. The scale's malfunctioning. It won't give me a weight.
Is it malfunctioning or are you still over the weight limit of the scale?
I know I made it to your goal, Dr. Now. I worked hard, so I'm at least under 650 pounds right now.
So you believe you're under 650 pounds?
That's correct.
All right.
Ryan's defiance did not stop there. He went full rebel, indulging in junk food as if it was his sworn duty. Missed appointments, ignored calls, and a deep commitment to fast food over health. Ryan's story was like a tragic sitcom. I mean, how do you even rationalize choosing a cheeseburger over a life-saving phone call with Dr. Now?
Working hard to lose the next goal amount the Dr. Now gave me. So when I get there, I'm down to 590. But now that I made it to this point, I need to go back to how I was doing the diet before my mom intervened, where I had my cheat days. Because that got me through the first month of doing this, and not being able to have that made the last couple months way too hard. So I'm letting myself go back to my way.
Dr. Now's patience is the stuff of legends. He kept giving Ryan chances, but Ryan kept throwing them away like they were empty pizza boxes. Every time he had the house to himself, it was junk food fiesta time. Clearly, seriousness was not on his menu. It is like he was on a mission to break every diet rule in the book.
But, we're doing. Pushing along.
Well, you haven't been answering your calls, so we haven't been able to get in touch with you and see what's going on.
Interesting. This is the first time I've seen you call because I have you on my phone under Dr. Now, so I haven't had any missed calls from you.
Well, you miss a lot of calls from me.
Eventually, even the saintly Dr. Now had enough. Ryan's pattern of missed calls, ignored appointments, and undying love for junk food led to his removal from the program. It was a saga of ignorance and epic failure. Ryan Barkdahl's story is a cautionary tale of missed chances and broken promises, showing just how tricky it is to align our plans with our actions.
I'm going to call him on the phone. Over the past few months, I have made a number of appointments to have video calls with Ryan, and he has missed all of them.
Loving these jaw-dropping stories so far? Hit that like button and share your thoughts below. Stay tuned because Lisa Eberson's story is about to take a wild turn. Being bedridden, Lisa had to rely on someone. Enter Randy, her boyfriend, who played the dual role of caregiver and enabler. For 3 years, Lisa was confined to her bed, completely dependent on Randy for everything. He was her unwavering support system, handling everything from meals to chores. But let us be real, was he helping or just feeding the problem?
Myself down and everybody around me. I live with my boyfriend Randy, and I just feel like crap because we're not really boyfriend-girlfriend. He's more like my caregiver. For the 3 years that I've been in bed, Randy's been helping me. Randy does basically everything for me.
Lisa's life was not always a horror show. She had a happy and comfortable childhood until her father's battle with alcohol turned everything upside down. Imagine going from a peaceful home to witnessing violence regularly. It is like flipping a switch from Disney Channel to a horror flick. This trauma marked the beginning of her struggles, but oh boy, it was just the beginning.
We've never really recognized Lisa's weight because all of us was heavy back then except for Robin, the other sister.
Growing up, my life was chaotic. My dad was an alcoholic. He wasn't at first. He was a real good dad when we were younger, but then he got into drinking and started beating on my mom and everything. So just that situation there made me turn to food. Food became a comfort to me because
By the age of 13, Lisa's life took another dark turn when she was unfortunately raped by 2 men. This left her with deep physical and mental scars, pushing her into severe mental health struggles. It is like life was playing a cruel joke on her, one traumatic event after another. Seriously, can someone cut this woman a break?
she did whatever she could to take care of us. And as kids, used to spend a lot of time home alone. Go do whatever we wanted to do. Cry and eat. When I was 13, life changed a lot. I was at a friend's house. People I thought were friends. I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. I got raped, and it just happened. There's 2 different guys. I never told a soul, not even my mom. And I started eating a lot after that.
After enduring such horrific experiences, Lisa turned to food. It became her safe haven, her armor against the pain and memories, but also her prison. Fast forward to 51, and she found herself bedridden, caught in a relentless cycle of compulsive eating. Her reliance on food grew stronger, and one cannot help but wonder if she will ever break free from her self-made prison.
Change this, I just have to do it. I don't have a choice. I want to change really bad. I want my life back. I must be pretty bad if people don't want to come visit me. It's nobody's fault but my own that I put all this weight up and I wanted this bed.
Lisa's initial meeting with Dr. Now was through a video call because she could not move around easily. She weighed in at 637 pounds, although Dr. Now suspected she might actually weigh even more. He recommended a strict 1,200-calorie diet plan, aiming for a 75-pound weight loss within 2 months. But the real question was, would Lisa commit to the diet?
As I understand it, you're reaching to me because of your weight and the fact that you're bedridden.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is your weight?
637.
You look like you could be a little bigger than that. So how old are you?
I'm 51.
So what is your mobility?
I can't get out of bed unless I get someone to help me get in a wheelchair.
Spoiler alert, she was not too keen on following through, especially with physical therapy. During their second appointment, Dr. Now had a chat with Randy about his role in bringing her food. Randy's logic? If she asks for food, I will bring it. Talk about irony. It is like saying if she asks for poison, I will bring that too.
Feeding her a lot. If you give her a protein bath, then she should be able to lose enough weight to get out of the bed. But she's not able to do that. So why are you overfeeding her?
Because she asked me not to get it for her.
So if she asks you, you're obligated to bring it to her? Yes. What happens if you don't bring it? Is she going to get up and go get it?
As her journey with Dr. Now progressed, Lisa's resistance only seemed to grow. Despite Dr. Now's efforts and giving them another shot, Lisa continued to cancel appointments. When she did meet the dietitian, it ended with Lisa yelling at her to leave. Her attitude did not improve with the physical therapist either, who got a not-so-friendly boot as well.
You're wasting my time.
What would you rather be doing?
I don't know. Leave me alone, lady.
Sometimes when we get angry and frustrated, we want to blame other people and have them take
Okay,
it.
this is over with. Get out. I'm done talking to you. Give me my book. I don't blame nobody for anything that's happened to me.
Lisa, is part of you afraid of getting help?
After a series of refusals and missed appointments, Dr. Now's last-ditch effort to help with a physical therapist was met with the same hostile reception. Lisa's rudeness did not spare even Dr. Now, showing attitude and abruptly ending his call. But life loves its curveballs. After Randy's passing during the COVID period, Lisa had a wake-up call. She reached out to Dr. Now, ready to commit to her weight loss journey. It was a late realization, but as they say, better late than never.
I wanted to check and see how you're doing since you have been at home from hospital for the past month.
I seem to be doing okay.
I'm glad to hear that. That's more positive than you usually answer. So I'm happy to hear that. But, well, how are you doing with the PT? Because they tell me you were cooperating.
Dolly Martinez's story is an emotional roller coaster with enough jaw-dropping moments to make your head spin. At just 25, Dolly realized she desperately needed to change her life. Her health was hanging by a thread, dealing with congestive heart failure and a dependence on oxygen. Imagine needing help just to breathe. Dolly's situation was that dire from the start. And who does she turn to? None other than Dr. Now, the tough love bariatric surgeon.
I can't even get out of bed anymore without needing help. Shy. I live with my mother, but my best friend Cheyenne helps me when she's here sometimes.
Good morning.
Cheyenne is a big girl like me too, so she understands where I'm coming from.
Let's dive into Dolly's daily grind. Her routine: 8 hours of TV, snacking, and naps. That is a whole lot of screen time and not much else. Her diet: mostly sugar. Picture her shopping cart in the grocery store, zooming straight to the candy aisle and piling up every sweet treat in sight. Brownies, ice cream, you name it. Dolly herself compared sugar to her cocaine and heroin. That is one intense sugar addiction.
My mom would find the wrappers and get mad at me, but there's nothing she could do, really. In kindergarten, I was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, and bipolar disorder. I know that I am a little special ed because I have mental issues, but teachers made me feel like I was more special ed than I am. It just made me want to eat more. And by the time I was 7, I was 120 pounds. A few years after my dad left.
Now, here's where it gets even crazier. Dolly's husband actually admitted he preferred her at a larger size, which was a major reason he married her. As Dolly began losing weight, he was anything but supportive. He seemed almost against her getting healthier. That is not what you expect from someone who is supposed to love and support you, right?
Just turned 21 and I was 400 pounds. But I didn't have much income and I didn't have no place to live. And that's when I met Ricky, the man that I married, on a social media chat thread. Turned out we had something in common because Ricky didn't have anywhere to go either. Ricky lived close to me, so we met in person.
Things got even more complicated when their daughter was born. Just 6 days later, Child Protective Services stepped in and took her away because Dolly and her husband could not provide a safe environment. Her mom, Stacy, had to step in to take care of her. Talk about drama in such a short time.
She's the most precious thing you never... She's a beautiful child, beautiful spirit. She's just full of life and full of energy. I certainly didn't know 3 years ago I was going to be a mama, basically, again. I was given this child by CPS when she was 6 days old. A year later, we went to court, and she and her.
Amidst all this chaos, Dolly's first weigh-in with Dr. Now showed she was 593 pounds. She tried to mend things with her mom, but ended up back with her unkind husband. After more bad times, she wound up in a homeless shelter. That is where she met Philip. Within 6 weeks, they were engaged, even though they still did not have a stable place to live.
Well, me and Philip finally found a house to move into. It took a lot longer to find an option we could afford than I thought it would. But we finally found one, which means I can go back and see Dr. Now.
With her life in utter chaos and not losing enough weight, Dr. Now could not approve her for the surgery she hoped would be life-changing. By the end of her episode, Dolly had lost just 40 pounds in almost a year. Dolly's story is a harsh reminder of how tough life can get and the power of staying hopeful no matter what. It is like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss what's coming up next.
How long you know your best friend?
For maybe a year. It feels like we've known each other forever, though.
Well, that's not reality. Reality is that you're choosing the support system with the people you don't really know. After you rejected the support system you needed with your mom.
5 minutes, the police will be called! Because I got proof,
I'm stupid. I don't understand that when you...
Send me back home.
My life can't get any worse. But my body and my health are getting worse by the day.
Ever wondered what it would be like to depend on someone for every single task? Let's dive into Jean's life, a 39-year-old who appeared on the show. This woman was so reliant on her parents for the simplest things that her house felt like a cloud of sadness. Jean wasn't just struggling with her weight, she was grappling with immobility and a slew of health issues exacerbated by poor hygiene. Imagine every movement, every breath, a struggle. But let's peel back the layers. How did Jean end up in this dire situation? Hello, everyone. Before we dive into the disturbing, jaw-dropping moments that broke the internet on My 600-Pound Life, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you're about to witness stories filled with raw emotions and a whole lot of drama. So let's get started.
And a washcloth. Because it's very important. I try to stay as clean as I can. Since there's a lot of areas of my body that rub and chafe and cause these sores to form and open up on me. And I can't let them get infected.
Jean's childhood was a nightmare. Raised by a grandmother who seemed to have missed the memo on nurturing, Jean's early years were marred by physical abuse that's hard to stomach. And as if that wasn't enough to scar someone for life, she also endured sexual abuse at the hands of her mom's boyfriend. So where did she turn for solace? Food. Yup, food became her best friend in a world where genuine friends were non-existent. It's tragic how some battles are fought in silence, right?
It was only a one-time thing, but the one time did damage. I remember sitting on the floor watching TV, and he came and he sat right down beside me. And he said, "This will be our little secret." And he said, "Don't ever tell your mom because she won't believe you." So I just, with everything else, I just pushed that down and, just dealt with it as best as I could.
Then came the critical turning point. Jean was hospitalized due to a life-threatening infection, and she managed to shed 53 pounds. But the real challenge began once she was out of the hospital, tasked with losing another 100 pounds on her own. Well, life had other plans, and she ended up gaining 29 pounds instead. Talk about a cruel joke. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How you all doing?
Doing okay.
All right, Jean. We got you in the hospital and you lost 53 pounds, halfway to your goal. So all you needed to do was lose the remaining 50 pounds in 6 weeks on your own to get down to your overall goal I gave you. But instead, you gained back 29 pounds.
Yes.
Dr. Now, ever the optimist, gave Jean a second chance. She was brimming with confidence, boldly claiming she'd flaunt her progress at her next checkup. But reality? She lost a measly 8 pounds in 2 months. Was she even trying, or just using the diet plan as a coaster for her soda?
I just want to get this appointment over with so we can go home.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you all doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. So you were given the same goal as the first time to lose 100 pounds in 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Instead, you lost 8 pounds. The only positive with that is that at least you didn't gain.
Just when you think Jean's life couldn't get any more challenging, tragedy strikes again. Her father passed away, and she was swallowed by an ocean of grief. This sorrow led her to abandon her diet, diving back into the comforting arms of food. It's heart-wrenching to see someone lose their way, but will Jean muster the strength to shed those pounds and embrace a healthy lifestyle?
Can you just, I don't know, have somebody come and get him, I guess? Get him from where? Get your dad? No, I'm not talking about that. Come and get my dad. Okay.
And if you thought we were done, hold on. Jean's mother fell ill, leaving her to face gastric surgery alone. That's a solo journey no one should have to endure. As if her life wasn't already enough of a soap opera, Jean Suidi, the production company of My 600-Pound Life, claiming they broke promises of covering her mother's medical expenses. Sounds like a plot straight out of a legal drama, doesn't it?
Fortunately, you still doesn't have a lot of time to waste.
My mom and I are going home.
So, what's next for Jean? Will she find her path to recovery and happiness? Will she rise above her sorrows and reclaim her life? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Jean's story is a stark reminder of the dark corners some people navigate, hidden behind closed doors and silent struggles.
During the grief process. But what's important is that you allow yourself to have your feelings. After that happens, you'll be able to focus on your life and what you need to do to feel whole again.
Right.
When something like death happens, it can make you want to retreat from life and just stop everything. And I want you to know that you and your mom both.
Imagine trying to keep up with a daily regimen of 13 to 14 medications while battling congestive heart failure and diabetes. That was Entre's reality. Imagine needing to remember a small pharmacy's worth of pills every single day. But how did he end up here?
Lucky to even see 40. The worst is already beginning to happen.
It's definitely no way to live. I take about 13 to 14 different medications to make sure my heart does not fail. And that's the only thing that keeps me out of the hospital.
Entre's love affair with food didn't happen overnight. Picture a young Entre hanging out with his grandmother, munching on snacks while playing games. By the time he was 18, he weighed 450 pounds. You have to ask, was Grandma unknowingly setting the stage for his future troubles?
And so I spent a lot of times there with her. And what do? We eat. We play games, but we eat. We do this, but we eat. And so food and good food was always present.
How many calories is that?
What you're supposed to eat.
You gonna put some honey on it?
Oh. 3 more.
We was a church-going family. My grandparents and my mother definitely kept me in church a lot.
Life wasn't exactly kind to Entre. Growing up in a single-parent home, losing family members to heart issues, then losing his job, and finally getting diagnosed with heart failure. Food became his comfort. But with his health on the line, how could he pivot towards a healthier lifestyle? Spoiler alert, it wasn't going to be easy.
I ended up dropping out of college after 1 semester. I got a job working security at a retail store. The job paid well for 7 years, working 10 to 14-hour days. At first, my size worked in my favor. Being big helped intimidate customers who came to steal things. And that's when I started to have health issues of my own. And I got diagnosed with congestive heart failure. And then the cardiologist cut me off as their patient.
Entre's situation got worse when he lost his job as a security guard due to his heart condition. His wife, Musa, stood by him, dreaming of starting a family, but also terrified for his health. She urged him to lose weight first. The pressure was on, but was Entre really up for the challenge?
I saw that he was willing to change, and so I gave him a chance. But now he wants a family. I cannot give it to him unless he loses that weight so that we help each other. You done?
Thank you very much.
Oh.
It was really actually good. Compliments to the show.
Determined to make a change, Entre sought help from Dr. Now, weighing in at a staggering 702 pounds. Dr. Now laid out the game plan: a strict 1,200 calorie diet and regular exercise, aiming for an 80-pound drop in 2 months. Easy, right? Not quite.
I agree with all that. But the first step is you showing that you are willing to do what you say. Because it sounds like you said all this before. And so far, it seems like you go in the other direction. Okay? So to get you started, I'm going to give you a 1,200 calorie diet that is high protein, low carb. I'm going to walk you through it. And I want you to start that immediately.
Yes, sir.
3 months later, Entre had only lost 19 pounds, having indulged in extra protein shakes and peanut butter. When confronted by Dr. Now, Entre's response was a mix of nonchalance and chuckles. Seriously, why wasn't he sticking to the diet? His excuses were almost laughable.
He was eating peanut butter. He said it's there in the book that he must eat peanut butter. I said, I read it. It doesn't say that. And then we started arguing about that. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it until we go back to the doctor so that he can explain to you, because it's not there. Like, it feels like maybe the food is the same. I told him, if you go through the book and look at the food, it's not the same, it's different kinds.
Despite Dr. Now's stern warnings and setting another 80-pound weight loss challenge, Entre's journey took a disappointing turn. At his next weigh-in, he had actually gained 6 pounds, still joking and shrugging it off. Could he really bounce back from this?
Good. So is the young lady with you?
This is my aunt. It's actually my mom's friend, but I call her Aunt Pat.
Okay. So what happened to your wife? She gave up on you?
No, she didn't give up on me. She had a couple of appointments and stuff, and so they're trying to still work on her green card and stuff. So.
All right. Well, it is a good thing she's not here to see your result, because instead of losing 80 pounds in 2 months.
Dr. Now, seeing Entre's lack of seriousness, suggested he see a psychotherapist. The therapist advised him to treat listing grievances like writing a sermon. And Entre, he showed up with coffee and a cinnamon roll in hand, ready to tackle that sermon. The irony was almost too much.
And do you write sermons? Did you write sermons as part of your training?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So I want you to write a sermon about this.
Okay.
You know, I feel like you have 2 kinds of weight to lose.
Yeah.
And the physical weight is almost less important than the emotional weight. You're carrying around 700 pounds of emotional weight too.
But it seems like the emotional weight is heavier than the physical.
Yeah.
You know.
So, Entre, I'm going to bring your wife in. Is that okay?
Yes.
We'll talk about the homework, okay?
Okay.
Great.
In a shocking twist, Entre's weight escalated to 704 pounds, marking a gain of 15 pounds when he was supposed to be losing them. It was a gut punch, not just to the viewers, but surely to Entre himself. His story stands out as one of the most unbelievably challenging journeys on the show, showcasing a contestant who seemed to make every wrong turn possible.
It feels like no matter what I do, it's not going to be good enough. I can't help but feel that I messed up my chances, because I know that Dr. Now would not be happy. And if he gives up on me, then I know that I will have let Musa down.
If you're as hooked on these jaw-dropping stories as we are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now, buckle up, because Stephen Asante's journey is one roller coaster ride of drama, tears, and some seriously questionable choices. Just at the start of his episode, Stephen, tipping the scales at a whopping 730 pounds, gets booted from Rhode Island Hospital. Why, you ask? Well, our boy Steven thought it would be a great idea to order pizza while trying to qualify for weight loss surgery. Yes, you heard that right. His desperate father, fearing this might be Steven's end, decides against taking him home. Instead, they hit the road, hoping for a miracle.
An 800-pound man from Cranston desperate for help after he says Rhode Island Hospital told him to leave.
For the past 80 days, Steven was getting the help he needed at Rhode Island Hospital. But after Steven violated his care plan by ordering pizza, Steven said the hospital told him he can no longer stay. Steven's father says taking his son home will be a death sentence, so the two men say they'll continue to drive until they find a place that can help.
I just don't know where to turn to. I called everybody you could think of in the state of Rhode Island, and nobody can help me.
It seemed like Steven had burned all his bridges. Enter Dr. Now, the kindest and most helpful doctor you could imagine, who decided to give Steven a shot and called them to Houston. But even Dr. Now knew he was in for a ride with Steven, labeling him one of the toughest cases ever. The big question was, would Steven be committed enough to follow the rules?
Transported to my care in Houston right now, and I'm not sure what to expect. From what I understand, he suffers from severe psychological issues that make it problematic to treat him. So he's going to be a unique case.
This looks really yummy.
You might be wondering how Steven managed to gain all that weight. Well, his sneakiness knew no bounds. Steven didn't just eat, he devoured. His daily intake could rival a small army's rations. Pizza, fried chicken, gallons of soda. You name it, he consumed it. It's like he was on a mission to set a world record for the most calories ingested in one sitting.
He's right off. And then when he used the bathroom, he leaned up against this, and somehow, some way, this cracked. So I'm surprised he didn't break this. He broke this pot. Here, I'll show you the bedroom that he spent 24/7 in. This is basically all his stuffed animals and his TV, his videos.
He'd secretly gorge on pizzas and fast food, thinking he had everyone fooled. His dad once found not one, but 10 empty pizza boxes hidden in his room. And get this, Steven even called the cops on his dad over food. The charges dropped in exchange for, you guessed it, a large pizza. Like, who does that, man?
And he was sneaking pizza all the time and hiding the evidence. One day I happened to open up that closet and I see 10 piles of empty pizza boxes in here where he tried to hide them from me. I said, let me tell you something, it's gonna stop because I don't wanna see that ever again. And then he says to me like, oh, all right, well, what are you gonna get me to eat now? I said, you serious, dude? I said, how do I know you just didn't have a pizza today? And you want something to eat again? But he wanted his way.
But all this sneakiness had to be stopped. After reaching Houston, Steven weighed in at a staggering 730 pounds. Dr. Now, hoping to see some progress, put him on a strict 1,000-calorie diet. Fast forward 3 months, and Steven's true colors began to shine. He disrespected staff and started manipulating them for food and pain meds. Dr. Now had enough, declaring it was game over at the hospital. The story takes an even more dramatic turn next.
Mean nothing. You come here for help, and at this point, there's nothing I can do to help you. So you're done here.
I've been doing good and everything, please.
And unless you have an emergency, you will not be admitted back.
I've been good. I swear I apologize to everybody.
If you want to stay in the program, you need to find a place to stay because you're not staying here anymore.
Despite the doctor's best efforts, Steven didn't change his tune. He missed appointments, ghosted Dr. Now's calls, and yes, ordered a large pizza and Coke the moment he got his new freedom. But when he overdosed on painkillers to get more meds from another hospital, Dr. Now confronted him. Steven's response? Non-seriousness and laughs. Oh boy, he definitely wasn't ready to change his life.
As an expression, but you actually do it. You missed your appointment with me last week. Do you think you lost any weight?
Well, I mean, you know.
I see pizza in here. How many times you order pizza since you've been here?
Probably like two.
Two times that she knows. How many times that she didn't know that you ordered pizza? Don't look at her.
Stephen's journey wasn't just about the weight. It was a constant battle of manipulation and excuses. After all the non-seriousness and ignorance, Dr. Now finally lost his patience. He laid down the law, telling Stephen his painkiller and manipulation days were done. Get it through your head, he said, or you're looking at death or jail. Stephen Asante was truly the craziest patient to ever appear on the show.
You know, you're at that point that you have been before and you lied about it, and right now, at least you got to the point that you're honest about it. But here's the situation. This is the end of your road for now.
Okay.
You've done manipulating system with me involved. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm suspending you from the weight loss program. And you're going from here to a drug addiction program.
Shenee Murray's life is a masterclass in saying no to help, even when Dr. Now is bending over backwards to get her on the right track. Shenee grew up as the only child in the house. Sounds like the dream, right? Being the center of attention, showered with love? Not quite. Her story took a dark turn at just 5 years old when her cousin raped her. Yes, raped. Can you imagine?
There was one time where we was at my uncle's house and I was molested by my cousin. I didn't know as a child what was going on.
Shenee had came from the basement and she started kind of whining, and she was touching her front area. She was hurting.
All I remember is my mom had took me to the doctor because I couldn't use the bathroom. It was hurting really bad.
Picture this, little Shenee running out of the basement in tears, her mom immediately sensing something was wrong and rushing her to the doctor. That's when the heartbreaking truth came out. From that point on, food became Shenee's escape hatch, her safe space. But as we all know, too much of a good thing can be bad, and for Shenee, her comfort zone morphed into a gilded cage.
I hid all my feelings in. I started sneaking food right after that incident. Food made me feel better. It made me feel happy. So then I started putting on weight. And when I was 7, I was about 130 pounds. When I was in elementary, my teacher did throw away my lunch because I was too fat.
Fast forward to her appearance on the show, and you could tell from the jump that Shenee wasn't exactly eager to embrace Dr. Now's recovery plan. Despite the neon signs flashing health hazard all around her, and Dr. Now's detailed roadmap to a healthier life, Shenee's commitment was flimsy at best. Old habits really do die hard, huh?
Fluid is not adding to your weight gain. So the reality is, to gain like you did, you still have to be eating over 10,000 calories a day. You're not realizing that?
I did not realize that.
You're still eating whatever you want, whenever you want.
Not necessarily all the time.
All right, I don't think you're grasping how dangerous your situation is, Shenee. With all the health issues you've got.
And then it gets even more ridiculous. Shenee's diet cheats were the stuff of legend. Even in a hospital with all the tools to succeed, Shenee's husband was her partner in crime, sneaking in pizzas and burgers. They were caught, of course, sparking an epic meltdown from Dr. Now. Can you imagine the awkwardness?
Hey, Shenee, see what I found.
Freddie.
What about Freddie?
That belongs to Freddie.
Shenee, the lying need to stop now. Okay, Shenee? Here's the situation.
Okay.
For 4 months, I have seen you from day one. You haven't lost any weight. Plus, the hospital staff not only seen you eating pizza, but burgers, and then you smart enough not to throw it to your own trash, throw it to somebody else's trash.
It gets better. 6 months later, Shenee was dodging appointments and giving the cold shoulder to psychologists. When Dr. Now tried to check in, she threw a curveball, questioning his beliefs in God, then declaring she didn't need his help because the world was full of doctors, and then she hung up on him. Who does that to someone trying to save your life?
And I understand that, but do you believe in God?
This is medicine.
Well, I believe in God, that God is gonna take me as far as he want me to. He put me on this earth. If he wants me to have this surgery, he will. He doesn't, I won't. It's in his timing when this is gonna happen.
But wait, there's more. Shenee took her defiance to YouTube, becoming a vlogger to tell her side of the story, claiming she was losing weight on her own terms. Fact or fiction? That's anyone's guess. But one thing's clear. Shenee was one of the most stubborn and defiant characters ever to grace the show. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories. Share your thoughts in the comments. What moment shocked you the most? And don't forget to hit the notification bell. Stay tuned because you won't believe what we have coming up next.
A prisoner from my weight. But this is my reality. I'm down.
It's not looking good right now. She's very close to dying.
Mentally, I feel lost. I had no idea doing this was going to have this kind of effect on me.
Laura Perez's journey had us all glued to our screens, not just for the weight loss, but for the entire insane roller coaster that came with it. Imagine being just 5 years old and finding solace in food after a traumatic incident with a cousin. It's heartbreaking how often we see food becoming a refuge in times of pain. Right? Laura thought that getting bigger could shield her from harm, a sad reflection of how our minds can trick us into a false sense of safety. And then, as if that wasn't enough, her parents got divorced. Food became her go-to, her reliable yet unhealthy companion. Hello, everyone! Before diving into the most dramatic transformations that left viewers absolutely stunned on My 600-Pound Life, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. From impossible odds to inspiring victories, these stories are sure to captivate you. So let's get started.
Growing up, my weight wasn't much of an issue. But I started to gain weight when I was 5. An older cousin of mine molested me. He would just touch me and stuff. I never told my parents anything.
Enter Dr. Nowzaradan, the no-nonsense hero of the show. If you've seen the show, you know he doesn't sugarcoat anything, probably because he'd make you work it off. Laura reached out to him, desperate to regain control of her spiraling health. Dr. Now set her up with a diet and exercise plan stricter than a high school principal's rules. But let me tell you, changing habits set in like concrete, not so simple.
A lot of cake.
So where do you get that cake? Who? You? You know, I never seen anybody that's overweight doesn't have enable people around them, support them. It should be the opposite. They should tell you you shouldn't have that. And so you carrying oxygen with you all the time?
Yes.
Laura's battle with her diet was as evident as a donut in a gym. Despite her best intentions and Dr. Now's clear plan, those old habits clung on tighter than a cat on a curtain. It's like, you know what you need to do, but doing it? That's a whole other story. Who can't relate to that struggle? It's like being on a perpetual diet roller coaster, with cheat days turning into cheat months.
I need you to lose 50 pounds over the next couple months. You think you can do that?
Yes, I will do it.
Okay. Laura has a whole environment of enabler that will be very hard to address. All right, nice to meet you guys.
Likewise, Doctor.
Okay. We'll see how she does over the next couple months.
Her family was always there, cooking up storms and keeping traditions alive, even if those traditions weren't the healthiest. At one point, things got really tough for Laura and her husband Joey. They even faced homelessness. Can you imagine dealing with eviction on top of everything else? Her sister stepped up and gave them a place to stay. It really shows the power of family, doesn't it?
A lot of salads and vegetables and stuff like that. She's really sticking to her diet, so I'm happy about that.
Joey's been really supportive. Sometimes I just want candy or cake, but he brings me good stuff now and not junk. Oh, yeah. This is steamed chicken with vegetables.
Now, Laura's weight loss journey was anything but smooth. Instead of the planned gastric bypass, Dr. Now had to perform a gastrectomy because of her enlarged liver and spleen. She almost died of pneumonia post-surgery, but guess what? She pulled through and dropped an incredible 237 pounds by the end of her TLC stint, slimming down to 182 pounds. Talk about a fighter!
Laura, the surgery finished. It went as well as possible with the situation that we encountered. 1, 2, 3. Her surgery did not go as we planned, but we accomplished some sort of weight loss operation. But under circumstances, that's the only tool we can offer for Laura.
Here's where it gets juicy. Laura's transformation put a serious strain on her marriage. Joey, her husband, didn't take well to her losing weight. It seems he might have been enabling her previous lifestyle, and her newfound independence didn't sit well with him. The more she succeeded, the less interested he became in the marriage. And when Laura decided to get a job, that was probably the last straw. Joey wanted her to stay home, but Laura, she was not having any of it anymore.
I can do so much more now. I can get around without a wheelchair or any oxygen. I feel like a new person. I can shop at more places like normal people do. I feel great.
When Melissa first appeared on the show, she tipped the scales at a staggering 653 pounds. She was not only battling her weight, but also holding on to the hope of becoming a mom. Determined to turn her life around, she reached out to Dr. Now, known for his tough love approach. Initially, it seemed like Melissa was looking for a quick fix rather than a long-term solution. She wanted a miracle cure for her weight issues, and honestly, who can blame her? But as we all know, real change takes more than just wishing.
It's not like I set out to say, ooh, I want to grow up to be the world's biggest lady. I want to be 700 pounds. It just happened.
For the longest time, I really talked myself into I didn't have a weight problem. I was still walking. If I had a weight problem, I could not walk.
Melissa started off with enthusiasm, but it was not long before she began missing her appointments with Dr. Now. Each time, she had a new excuse ready to go. It was almost like she was stuck in a loop, excited one moment and then disappearing the next. Dr. Now, ever the patient guide, kept extending olive branches, hoping Melissa would grab onto one and hold tight. Do you think she managed to snap out of this cycle? Keep watching to find out.
This is illegal contraband. And if I see them, then I want them. So I throw my yarn down on top to keep them hidden. Let me show you my purses. My protection purse. I see somebody looking at me, staring pretty hard. My bag goes in front. And this has everything in it but the kitchen sink. Deodorant.
Despite these hiccups, Melissa eventually got back on track and was approved for bariatric surgery. After the surgery, the pounds started to melt away, and by the end of her time on the show, she had dropped down to 157 pounds. It was a total transformation, and Melissa was understandably proud of her progress. But as many of us know, sometimes the hardest battles come after the victory lap.
I've lost 210 pounds, but I'm still fat. See this? That absolutely grosses me out. I can't stand to look at myself in the mirror. It jiggles, like terribly, jiggles. And I can lift, and it's just like, ugh.
Post-show, Melissa achieved another dream. She became a mom. She and her husband, Chris, had 2 healthy children. However, with each pregnancy, Melissa gained weight and found it tough to lose it afterward. After her second child, she found herself 100 pounds heavier. Since then, she's been working hard to get back to her goal weight of 150 pounds. Balancing motherhood with personal health goals is no joke. Any parents out there feeling that struggle?
389 pounds. It's been 10 years since I've been 389 pounds. It was just exciting to be under 400 pounds. Oh, it's so exciting.
I'm just doing that.
Dress looks different
She said that dress definitely looks different on her now than when she came in here.
Yeah. It's nice to realize that there's a whole lot less of me.
But wait, there's more to the story. While Melissa was dealing with her weight and her new role as a mom, her marriage began to feel the strain. They decided that Chris would go back to work while she stayed home, but Melissa began to miss her job and the social interactions it provided. This eventually led to their divorce, but they stayed committed to co-parenting their children. It shows that sometimes life reshuffles our plans in ways we never expect. Melissa's story is a real-life example of how adapting to these changes is just as important as the initial weight loss.
But life is still a little overwhelming for me. I crave the weirdest things. Salt, saltine crackers, Chinese food. I know when I'm gonna eat them that I'm going to throw up. But sometimes, honestly, if I'm craving it bad enough, it's worth getting sick for.
If you're inspired by these incredible transformations, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Stay tuned because we're diving into Britney Fulfer's journey, a story that will leave you absolutely stunned. You won't want to miss this. Britney Fulfer's incredible journey had viewers absolutely stunned and rooting for her every step of the way. Britney's story began with a heartbreaking childhood. She started gaining weight as a young girl, turning to food as a comfort mechanism to cope with trauma. The root cause? An incident of sexual abuse at the hands of a family member. Food became her refuge, a way to shield herself from the world and the emotional pain she was enduring. Over the years, her weight spiraled out of control, and by the time she appeared on the show, Britney weighed just over 600 pounds.
It would be better if I just don't wake up, because every single day I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what did you do to yourself? A human body should not look the way my body looks. That is the most disgusting thing in the world. I'm so big, I'm almost to the point where I can't even take care of myself.
Her family, particularly her husband Bill, played a crucial role in her life. Bill was supportive, but there was a fine line between support and enabling. Sometimes, in his attempts to help Britney feel better, he would bring her the very foods that were contributing to her decline. It's a tough spot to be in, wanting to comfort your loved one, but also realizing that the comfort is slowly killing them.
women and thought I was beautiful.
When I first met her, to me, Britney seemed just happy. Her personality was bubbly, and I wanted to join the bubble, I guess.
So we got married, and it's been me and Bill against everything since then. I needed someone to tell me that I'm okay, and that never happened before in my life. But I've wondered if I've been a disappointment to him.
Britney reached a point where she knew she couldn't go on living this way. The pain, both physical and emotional, was too much to bear. That's when she decided to reach out to Dr. Now in Houston, hoping he could help her turn her life around. If you know Dr. Now, you know he doesn't mince words. Dr. Now laid it all out for Britney. She needed to lose weight before he would even consider her for surgery. He put her on a strict diet of 1,200 calories a day and emphasized the importance of exercise. But we all know that old habits die hard.
I want to be the wife that he deserves.
You ready to do this?
Yes. I've never been on a road trip like this, and I'm scared I might not make the journey. From Tualatin to Houston will take 6 days, and I've never driven more than 3 hours in a car at this weight.
Britney started off with enthusiasm, but it wasn't long before she began missing her appointments with Dr. Now. Each time, she had a new excuse ready to go. It was almost like she was stuck in a loop, excited one moment, and then disappearing the next. Dr. Now, ever the patient guide, kept extending olive branches, hoping Britney would grab onto one and hold tight. Do you think she managed to snap out of this cycle? Keep watching to find out.
You, so I think things are definitely getting better.
Where are you gonna go? Okay, thank you. I'm no longer living in fear. These have been steps in a good direction for me. But the biggest step I want to take is with my husband. I want us to have a deeper relationship, and I want it to be one where I'm not afraid. And I want to start working on having a family.
Despite these hiccups, Britney eventually got back on track and was approved for bariatric surgery. After the surgery, the pounds started to melt away, and by the end of her year-long weight loss journey, she had shed 230 pounds. It was a total transformation, and Britney was understandably proud of her progress. But as many of us know, sometimes the hardest battles come after the victory lap.
I'm pretty excited to be out like an adult. I feel like this is a fresh start for Bill and me. We've never had a normal husband and wife relationship, and I feel like I can start being a wife to him. And for the first time in our marriage, we can start to get closer. Like that grilled chicken breast looks really good. That's what I'm getting.
With the help of Dr. Now and a gastric bypass, Britney began addressing the reasons for her compulsive eating with a therapist. Post-surgery, she didn't just lose weight, she also started to tackle the emotional issues that had led her to binge eat in the first place. This was a crucial step in her journey and showed just how committed she was to turning her life around.
Hey! The past few months have been amazing. I have made so much progress. I am doing so much more, and I have so much more energy. I'm able to help Bill in the mornings, making breakfast. I do the laundry and I clean, and it may sound really boring to someone, but it's what I've always wanted.
Post-show, Britney achieved another dream. She became a mom. She and her husband, Chris, had 2 healthy children. However, with each pregnancy, Britney gained weight and found it tough to lose it afterward. After her second child, she found herself 100 pounds heavier. Since then, she's been working hard to get back to her goal weight of 150 pounds. Balancing motherhood with personal health goals is no joke. Any parents out there feeling that struggle?
It's exciting.
That's very good. Britney has done extremely well. I'm very proud of her. She's well on her way to hitting her target weight next year. You have come a long way from being almost 600 pounds.
Yes, I haven't been this way in a long, long time.
I expect that in a year you're gonna be under 200 pounds.
That's exciting.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
When Taretha first rolled into the spotlight, she was tipping the scales at over 800 pounds. Yes, you heard that right. Over 800 pounds. Imagine being confined to your bed for 2 years straight, depending entirely on others for your basic needs. That was Taretha's reality. But one day, she decided she had enough. She packed her bags and moved to Texas, seeking help from the one and only Dr. Now.
A prisoner from my weight, and I can barely move now. It's been 2 years since I've been able to get up out of this bed. I'm not okay not being able to go out. I mean, months go by, I don't go outside. Hell, seasons change, and I don't get to go outside. And I can no longer take care of myself.
Right from the start, Taretha made some serious progress. During her initial hospital stay, she managed to shed a whopping 200 pounds. That monumental weight loss earned her the green light for weight loss surgery. After going under the knife, she kept the momentum going and dropped another 221 pounds. Can you believe it? She literally cut her body weight in half. No small feat, right?
I know you too. But I know if I don't, I'm gonna lose it all anyway. So I have to go.
How you doing, ma'am?
Hi.
You ready to go?
But like, this is overwhelming.
1, 2, 3. And we're gonna roll it the other way.
Okay, wait. You guys don't have a stretcher?
No, we're gonna carry you.
No, you're not.
I got 9 strapping men. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
But as with all good stories, the plot thickens. On her second visit to Dr. Now, Taretha clocked in at 592 pounds, still a long way from where she needed to be. When Dr. Now pointed this out, she did not take it well. "You're just a doctor, not a god who can dictate my life," she snapped. Ouch! Talk about a tense moment. I bet Dr. Now was thinking, well, someone woke up on the wrong side of the hospital bed.
That's a long time to be immobile. How much you weigh right now?
The last time was 6:30, but they weighed me in the bed.
You shouldn't be immobile at 630 pounds. You must be higher than that. What kind of diet you following?
My doctor has me on a 2,000 calorie diet for carbs.
Despite her progress on the show, Taretha's journey hit some serious bumps once she got back home. At her first follow-up, she had some bad news. She had gained weight and become bedridden again. Things started looking up a bit when Taretha returned to Dr. Now. He removed some lymphedema from her leg, which helped her start walking again. But the pain was still too much, and she ended up in rehab to try and manage it. Sadly, her first month in rehab did not bring the improvements she had hoped for, so she headed back home to Detroit.
She gained almost 30 pounds since she's been at home. So we'll start this process over and we'll put her on a controlled diet again. All right, we need to talk about your situation right now. We're gonna keep you here and put you back on controlled diet. And we need to be a little bit more proactive about your ability to do exercise.
Taretha's main goal throughout her journey was to get healthy enough to spend more time with her grandchildren. And guess what? She is making that dream come true. Now, she enjoys life with her husband, son, daughter-in-law, and grandkids. She is not very active on social media, but when she does post updates, they are always uplifting for her fans and well-wishers. She has not shared her current weight yet, but it is clear she has made incredible progress. It is inspiring to see someone fight through so much to reclaim their life. Thanks for joining, folks. If you were inspired by these stories, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. Do not forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Until next time, stay motivated and stay strong.
But my body says no right now.
So I don't have that comfort inside when I eat. I'm scared. And right now, I'm just having second thoughts about if I could do this.